Hello, I'm Bookface. You hear that loud in the background? That's my air conditioning. And I would apologize, except it's over 100 degrees outside, so yeah, I can't really feel bad about that. Because I'd feel really bad if I didn't have that on, honestly. Videos have been a little sparse. It's been a hectic couple weeks. We've had a lot of fun, also had a lot of stress, which, as life. I was able to get this drawing done in my spare time because that's how I calm myself. Uh, but yeah, videos have been a little iffy. I say that as if anyone consistently watches my videos, as I consistently make them. But that's fine. I enjoy making them, and whenever someone does watch them, it makes me feel good. So, fine by me. But yeah, so this one is actually based on an old drawing that I did, and I just decided to upgrade it into my own little personal design. I kind of wanted to give myself a bit of a challenge because, quite simply, it was just a very simple design. It was a sea serpent with one eye, and everything else is added on, basically. Uh, I decided to turn it into one of my little alien concepts just because, I don't know, I like drawing aliens, and it was a funky looking dude. So, big alien sea serpent. I actually think that was also a part of its original concept. But then again, I don't know what my original concepts were. They were just kind of crazy. That was my entire art style. Crazy. So here I'm doing this split jaw effect, which is at first I wanted to think that was like a kind of like an obscure thing for monster stuff, but then I realized like that's in a lot of monster stuff. There's that alien werewolf from Ben 10. There's like the Demogorgon from Stranger Things. There's others, I'm sure, but I don't feel like getting into that. So basically, I made the mouth and then just made a slightly larger copy to be the inside of the mouth. Out the muzzle is the word, I think, at least. Yeah, classic big old eye. One struggle that you'll see frequently throughout this video is me trying to keep the eye visible while also having the shape of the head and direction still make sense. Because yeah, it's a lot of really trying to accommodate for that eye to make sure it stays visible. Oh right, like what am I doing? But yeah, so this is me trying to. I plan on doing like I plan on doing like a foreshortening thing, and you can kind of see that. Like the head is much bigger than the end of the tail. When like if you were to like just stretch this out and in like a more scientific informational guide kind of way, it would be pretty consistently like wide throughout the whole thing. But because of the foreshortening and such, which I did because I wanted to make it look extra long, because it's a big old sea serpent, it really looks like it has a giant head and a tiny little body. This one was this part was interesting because designing the inside of the jaw, like it could be super easy. I have tons of shortcuts that I use with different filters, different things that can make a pretty realistic like fleshy pattern. But I wanted to go a little extra with this one because, like I said, I was challenging myself, so should go the extra mile. So basically, what my plan was is to make little ridges, and that's what those lines line up to. Just trying to make these little ridges that the teeth will go on. That way, they aren't just randomly strewn across the mouth. They're actually like in these rows. And yeah, as you can guess, it's going to be a lot of teeth considering how many rows I made. That part was interesting, but we'll get there soon enough. Yeah, this one was just in sort of weird shading and lighting thing. It's always tricky because when it comes to this stuff, obviously it needs to be highlighted to show the effect of like light being like it looking shiny and wet because it's flush. But then again, if you go too overboard, then it just looks like you got neon on it for some reason. I think I evened it out a little bit when I added the second bit of lightning to sort of, make it blend together a little better. Still not the best, but no, it's always a chance to improve. And this weird star-looking mouth, because it's the best way I could logic its mouth looking. And there I just used one of my little shortcuts, the elastic wrap tool, I believe is the one. It just really enhances the highlighted areas. You can really make a fleshy look. How long can I talk about flesh? Tongue. I considered just doing a normal tongue, but I'm like, where's the fun in that? So I gave it a blue tongue. I was probably thinking of those lizards, lizards with the blue tongue. I like doing the lighting on this one. I feel like that worked well. And I planned on making a tiny little mouth on the tongue. For what reason? I do not know. I did not go into the drawing thinking I was going to add that. Just sort of came up as I was sketching, I guess. And here we come to the inevitable point in any of my videos, the incredibly repetitive motion of adding a million small details which don't even really fully show up in the final draft. So yeah, thankfully I didn't go to the extreme of individually placing every tooth, because one, that would have taken forever. Two, I think I would have lost my mind if you'd never see the video. As if an insane version of me wouldn't still upload videos. Ha! Yeah, it's just a lot of repetitively placing these thin little anglerfish looking teeth. I always like to. The teeth are, I feel, an interesting part, because even, like, obviously sharp teeth have the advantage of having that sort of basic animal response of predator, get away. But I like the variation that monsters' teeth can have, because it just gives like a unique look into what they do, like why would they evolve those specific kinds of teeth. And I don't know the answer to that question. I just know that that's what I always think. As you can tell, I watch movies very different than most people. I'm like, what those teeth do? Oh, jeez. Yeah, eventually I started just getting big clusters of teeth and generally arranging them. I felt a little bad at first, but then it still took me a long time and was still relatively tedious, so I guess I don't feel too bad. It's just about filming these little details, making sure the teeth line up, and then we go on to adding the other layers. And I am not ashamed to say that I just copy and pasted and then change the proportions to make it slightly smaller every time. Because if I didn't do that, I don't know if I ever would have finished. Definitely not with my sanity intact. But yeah, this is it's a bit of a repetitive process, and it's very, very touchy kind of thing. You just gotta. I just heard someone walking toward my room. In technical terms, you gotta scooch it. You gotta slowly scooch it until it works. Just keep lining up until eventually you get it. I feel like the teeth overlap a little too much, but I'm not really sure how to prevent that. Oh, my dog is kicking. That's why I thought somebody was walking into my room. But yeah, if I could get the teeth to overlap a little less, or at the very least stand out more individually from each other, I think that would make it instantly better. These red fins, I was struggling to think of a way to make them interesting, because those were also integral to the initial design. Yeah, so I ended up making these big, almost hand tentacle things. I guess they have the intention of like being able to manipulate things like tentacles or hands. And then the other ones are mostly just for show. Part of it just added a little extra, so that it didn't seem like the same boring thing. Oh yeah, you can see with you can vaguely see with the direction I'm pulling up that top fin. I'm trying my best to line it up with those circles, so they're all kind of going towards the vanishing point to a degree. I haven't worked too hard with perspective in a while, so yeah, my skills probably aren't the best in it. I think the tail turned out real good in comparison to the other two thin brittle things. Of course, that's I don't really know if it is better, but I just feel like it worked out better, and it at the very least got a lot closer to what I was looking for. Texturing the actual like body of the creature was tricky because on the one hand I wanted it to kind of be slimy, but I also thought, wouldn't it be cool if it was scaly? It was just a tricky thing. Eventually, I just went for like a shiny, like frog-like skin or something. Oh yeah, and then of course making the little tongue mouth, which I think turned out surprisingly well. I don't know why, but I wish I had turned the teeth on the tongue like completely black. And I don't know exactly why, because it doesn't really. It's not like it makes it make any more sense. So, but I don't know, just some variation, I suppose. But I still think it looks good, even with the teeth-colored teeth. Uh, what color? Teeth color. And then, of course, adding a little glow to the eyeball, because it's not an alien if it don't have some glowing eyeball. It's definitely not a sea monster if it don't have some sort of glowing thing. So yeah, basically I made it so it's like swimming out from the abyss, and I think that works with the pose I gave it. Though I will say it kind of makes the positioning of the mouth even more awkward seeming because like it's trying to move forward, but the mouth and the tongue are like bent at weird directions. Oh yeah, I took the background layer of the water and just copy and pasted it above, and then erased slowly the outer edge until I got to the middle where I left it the firmest. And then here's just the dramatic lighting to really make it have depth, which is ironic for ocean. Yeah, I feel like artistically this one went pretty well, but also it's a little. I definitely still have my self critiques, and I don't know if it's good, worse, better. Just oh yeah, there it is. Okay, so here's my giant sea monster, sea serpent thing, or since it's an alien, the Z serpent, because I don't know. I was trying to think of some sort of space ocean pun, but since the idea of water in space on other planets is already a tricky enough thing in general, I couldn't really think of anything. So Z, it's my explanation. I like how it turned out in like a lot of the smaller details. I kind of wish some of the details of the water were a little less defined over it, so that it didn't seem like it was covering parts of it. And mostly a visibility thing, because like I like when every part of the creature I draw is visible. But as I continue to work in backgrounds, the harder it is to do that, because like if you're gonna put them in a dynamic pose in a background, they have to like feel a part of the background, which which means that even if it cuts off little bits of the drawing, that's how it goes. So I still feel like it worked. I still think this turned out pretty good, and I think not bad for one of my first alien designs on the channel. Have I done an alien design before? I've worked with Ben 10 aliens, but I don't think I made my own original alien thing. Yeah. I'm also realizing that now I've done two original concept drawings, and they're both water monsters. Hey, the ocean's easy to make scary and monstrous. I'll try to do maybe land based or something next time. So not completely get stagnant. I don't really have too many notes on this guy. Oh yeah, at the beginning in my sketch, you could see me place little like spots along the side of it. I intended those being like little glowing spheres to like attract light or attract light, use light to attract prey, kind of like an anglerfish, and like what I did with the eye. But eventually, I decided not to. The whole reason being like less is more. I feel like it would have just cluttered up the drawing a little bit, and definitely would have taken away from the main eye. Cause like that's the eye has a lot of like, contrast in this. The yellows pretty different from the reds, the purples, the blues, and so it really stands out, which gives it a nice little focal point. I should probably work more on my perspective and foreshortening, but that's kind of a given. But overall, I think this turned out pretty good. I'm proud of it. If you like this video, please give a thumbs up, comment down below, and subscribe. If you have any more drawing ideas or any critiques, let me know. It's a dangerous game asking for critiques from the YouTube comment section, but let's play the most dangerous game. And I'll see you next time. Bye.